All right. We back. Let's do it again. Ooh, yeah. Let's do it again. XO Sports Talk coming to you live one more time with episode number 12. XO Sports Talk live. And we're here, fellas. What's up?
What's going on, guys?
Hey, how's it going, man?
How's everybody?
What's happening, dudes, man?
How's
Happy
everybody
to see y'all
doing?
again, man.
Good.
And you too, man.
Good to see you, fellas. Man.
Always good to see you.
Absolutely, man. Terry, man, give us some news, man.
All right. So at this time, XO Sports Talk would like to send our condolences to the families that lost loved ones in the collapse of the Champlain Towers South Complex in Surfside, Florida. Our hearts go out to the families that are anxiously waiting for updates as first responders are currently searching for survivors. XO Sports Talk will keep all those involved in this tragedy, including the first responders, in our thoughts and prayers.
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely.
Amen.
And with that, also XO Sports would like to thank all the viewers and listeners for their support. We're currently streaming on all media podcast platforms. Please feel free to post any comments or suggestions on how we can improve the show. If this is the first time you are watching, please hit the subscribe and the notification bell. Please tell family and friends. Help us grow this, and we can all grow together. Once again, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Brian.
fans.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
We appreciate you guys out there.
yes,
Thanks to all the listeners.
Absolutely.
and my heart goes out to the ones that have been lost, and my heart goes out to the ones that have been able to survive this. And let's hope that they can find more people
Yes.
alive.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Surfside, we're praying for you, Surfside.
Yes, indeed.
Absolutely.
Malcolm,
Yes.
WNBA. What's the
Yes.
scoop?
All right. In the world of WNBA, Diana Taurasi, to me, she's a legend. She just scored a 9,000 point.
Wow.
She's doing a great job. I mean, so many years in the WNBA. She's a multi-gold medalist winner, an MVP, a multi-all-star. I mean, she's just a great player. And I've said it before, to me, she had the prettiest jump shot in basketball ever since she was like a sophomore in college at UConn, doing her thing, winning national championships with UConn. Great player, great, just great person. Just love watching her play.
Absolutely.
Excellent player.
Um,
Oh, my goodness.
Um,
She's a
awesome
legend.
player.
I mean, what can we say? She's a legend. Absolutely. Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I've
mean,
always enjoyed watching her play.
and Malcolm,
Incredible.
she's still doing these numbers at the age of 39. Am I right?
39.
Wow.
She's still doing work.
Unbelievable.
Wow.
It's like the Kobe Bryant of women's basketball. They
Yeah.
just massive.
Definitely.
Just got selected to the Olympics again, 5-time U.S. Olympian.
All right. Listen.
Mm-hmm.
That has legendary written all over it. I wonder if she can help me with my jump shot. You know, my jump shot's been falling a little weak lately. I wonder if she can help me out with that.
You need more than her help, bro.
Huh? Come on, Malcolm. Hey, man. I just need a few jumpers a day, man. About shoot up 100 jump shots a day. I might be able to get there. Huh?
You got a long way to catch up to her.
The only jump shot you can do is a sub going in your mouth.
Slam dunk.
Yep.
It's better be for the Jersey Mikes. I know it's Mikes.
Oh my goodness.
Jersey Mike, we salute you, Jersey Mike.
It's the only
Never
dunk
should give
you
it.
get.
Yeah. Give us the Stanley Cup.
This is going to be a great series. We are here now for a series that they just both of those teams, the Montreal Canadiens, now Tampa Bay Lightning, they are meeting head to head for the Stanley Cup. I know Tampa Bay wants to bring it home again. They want to make their fans in Tampa, who are just coming off a Super Bowl win. I know they're excited down there, but I'm telling you, I don't think Montreal is going away easy. Tampa Bay, as we're speaking right now, are leading 1-0, according to my last report. This is going to be a great series. I think both teams are well coached. Both teams for this battle that's going to decide who's going to be the winner, take all for the Stanley Cup trophy. I'm excited about this series. I can't wait to finish watching it. So I get your popcorn ready. It's going to be a good one. Stanley Cup is here. I'm going to go with the Montreal Canadiens. I love that city of Montreal. Montreal, I'm rooting for you. Let's go.
And Brian, who do you have in this series?
I'm going to go with the Canadians. I think they're hot right now. Pull out a couple of game sevens. And it's going to be interesting just because of these two teams. Normally they play each other a couple of times in the season, but with the COVID and the way they broke up the division, they have not played. This is the first time they play each other.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting, but I'm going to take the Canadians.
How about you, Malcolm?
I'm going with Tampa Bay, the defending champs, man. I mean, unfortunately, this seems like it's title town down there now, and they got Brady and all that down there. They're sitting there doing their thing. I'm going with Tampa Bay.
And how about you, Terry?
Yeah, I'm with Malcolm. I'm going with Tampa Bay. Defending champions. They have high skilled players that can score the puck. Their defense is elite, and their goalie is like the front runner to win the MVP of the finals, Stanley Cup Finals. So the Conn Smith trophy. So or Conn Smythe.
Conn Smythe, yep.
Well, Emerson will know this. When we were about 17 or 18, our church used to go to Montreal.
Go!
And there was this great rib house.
Oh, my goodness.
In Montreal.
Yes.
And on a Sunday, I was able to meet the legendary Gary Carter from the New York Mets. He was sitting there, and I didn't want to, be, hey, Gary Carter. And I just tapped him. I says, hey, Gary. And he was very nice and polite. And he said, hey, Aaron. No, he didn't say, hey, Aaron. He just said, hi. And I kept on going. And that was very nice because he could have said, you know what? Leave me alone.
Yeah.
Why are you bothering? But at least
remember that.
He did say hi, and it was nice. I'm going with Montreal.
All right.
I hope Montreal wins. I wish I could go up there when they win and have some ribs, because I don't want to see nothing out of Tampa Bay anymore. I don't want to see the Tampa Bay Lightning winning the Stanley Cup and then seeing Tom Brady partying with Gronk and those guys during the parade.
It's going to be a party in Tampa if the Lightning win.
Yes, I don't want to see nothing.
Yeah.
Because we saw that a few years ago when the Boston Red Sox won the World Series and the Boston Bruins won the Cup. And so I'm like, no, I don't want to see none of this. And then and they can go into history books and say, put it on Jeopardy. Tom Brady won the Super Bowl in Tampa Bay. What other team won down there in Tampa Bay? Forget it.
Oh, man.
Guys, Major League pitchers, inspection by umpires. Fair or foul? Emerson.
Woo! Well, listen. There's been a lot of ticky-tack stuff going on in the world of baseball from the pitchers, and the umpires are now trying to crack down on some things. They're checking uniforms, they're checking hats, they're checking gloves. They want to see if you're using anything to give you an edge while you're out there pitching. So I think it's good that we can get a fair game, as opposed to someone getting the advantage, whether they're using something slick on the baseball, whatever's going on, or whatever they're suspecting that the pitchers may be doing at this time. So I'm hoping that we can clean the game up so that everybody gets a fair shake. Hitters can get back to doing what they're doing, hitting the ball out of the ballpark.
And how about you, Terry?
Well, I'll call fair on this only because Major League Baseball kind of alerted teams last year that they were going to be doing this. You know, right now the league is on pace, like the league batting average is on pace to be one of the lowest since I believe 1968. I think
Yeah,
right now the
something like
batting
that.
average is for the league is like 236.
Mm-hmm.
So you know, in actual reality, I think Major League Baseball kind of knew that something was going on. You know, I don't want to say it's illegal, but I just think pitchers look for whatever advantage they can get to get a good grip on the ball and
Sure.
increase the spin rate on the ball. So I know, was it this past Sunday, the pitcher for the Mariners, Hector Santiago, got ejected. First player to be ejected for foreign substance. But check back with the Mariners that just say, hey, you know, it was rosin. It was an 80-degree day. He was sweating, and it was a humid day. So
Yeah.
I just don't see how they're going to stop it, but we'll see what happens. But I'll call fair because they gave fair warning last year.
Now, Terry, I have a question to that. Was that game in Seattle?
I'm not sure about that. I do know that it was a warm day. I mean, just basically the whole country was in a heat wave. But
Yes.
so
Jeff Fox.
And how about you, Malcolm?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say foul. One, they might have gave warning, but they did nothing to it. If you're gonna stop it, you stop it in preseason. Let them know so they can get used to what they're doing to the ball. The ball is slippery. I mean, it is. They got to get a grip on it, but you can't stop them in the middle of the season from using whatever substance they were using that you allowed in preseason for them to use. They got to get used to it, you know. And like you said, one pitcher complained that it's putting more stress on his forearm now because he has to grip the ball tighter to squeeze it to make it do what it does. I mean, they should have an approved substance that all the pitchers can use, and the major leagues approves it, you know, straight off the top. That way there's no argument, you know. But like you said, a pitcher's going to try to get the advantage that they get anyway. But it ain't from the substance of the batting average that Brother Terry was talking about. It's because they're just striking out too much. Like I said before, they're swinging for the fences. They're trying to get their stats up. So ain't nobody sitting there trying to, you know, play for average or swing for average no more. They're just swinging for the fences. It's all on them.
Long ball.
Now, to me, what about the player Hector Santiago, my personal feelings was this: make him change his glove.
Mm-hmm.
Change his glove, and then you tell the manager and the pitcher and the catcher, if we see one thing on his glove that looks like any kind of substance, he's out of the game. And then the league should suspend him for a game. But because they said the weather was humid and it was sticky and he was using the rosin bag, I don't know if his hands were wet, sweating, and that rosin stuff just stuck to his glove. And only the umpire said that it was sticky. So, you know, to me, I think Major League Baseball, they're going to have to, in the offseason, really start defining the rules more about what happens if they do catch a pitcher that they feel maybe, shall we say, trying to make something to his advantage. How about you, Brian?
Major League Baseball, it's fair. You definitely want to try to improve the game, but they have to address it in a proper way. They, like Malcolm said, they didn't bring it to the attentions of how they actually was going to acclimate this into the game. Players have been kind of doing this, and they've been getting by. They're letting them get by with it. And Major League Baseball kind of turned a blind eye. And I think they are having an issue with what T was saying. Major League batting averages 238. Pitchers have improved. Now you got them maybe using something to enhance them a little bit better. So baseball is trying to crack down. I think they need to address it and make a determined way of how they're going to do about it. And I think they're also going to, somewhere down the line, I think they're going to change the shift. I think that's going to be a major part in all of this as well.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, let's see what happens this baseball season.
Well, they might do what the NFL did years ago with the stick'em. Remember back in the late 70s and early 80s, players were using stick'em. Make sure they can get those interceptions. But who knows what might happen?
Well,
we're in a new day. We're in a new day and a new time.
The only time the umpires will give pitchers a break is in the wintertime. Because at times pitchers cannot get a good grip of the baseball. And they don't want the pitchers hitting somebody upside the head.
You're talking about on a cold day where they can blow on their hands.
Right. This is in the springtime.
Yeah. Spring
Because
and
it's
also the fall also.
Yes. Because sometimes they don't have control on the ball. So that's the only time that they will look the other way and say, okay, you can do this today. But when the warm weather comes, no, they don't want to hear it.
That's what they're saying. They're not definitive.
Yep.
Yeah, they're not definitive at all.
Now, the evil empire of George Steinbrenner, the New York Yankees, they can't hit.
Yankees blues. Yankees blues.
You know, we've discussed this on a few programs that the home run ball isn't there and the runs are not there. So the Yankees have now moved Aaron Judge at 6'7" to play center field at times. Should Aaron Judge be playing center field at times for the New York Yankees? I'm going to give this one to Malcolm.
We know he can play center field, but I say no, you're wasting him out there. Put him in right field. And we don't need him diving for balls and stuff like that. You put him in right field, he's limited, to where he has to run and how much he has to cover. So they have no choice right now. What they should do is trade for a player, which obviously I don't know what Brian Cashman, the GM, is waiting for. I mean, you have my man over there in Arizona, Marte. I like that kid. He's a switch hitter too. He's young, and he's still, still on the books for, you don't have to get a big money yet until he for the next contract or so. But he's, like I said, we got to do something. We have a kid in the minor leagues who they refuse to bring up, Esteban Florio, who's a great talent. They refuse to bring him up, so I don't know what they're waiting for because they got to do something because we're hurting at center field and we were hurting at first base. We're still hurting at first base until Luke Voigt just came. But like you said, they're not just a good team right now hitting the ball. They're not consistent. They're just there's nothing there for them to get on a big rally. You know what I mean? They're just all or nothing. Seems that way.
And how about you, Terry?
Well, I think the Yankees are doing what they need to do at the time to kind of plug holes in a sinking ship right now. I agree with Malcolm. He doesn't need to be in center field, but they're just, in my opinion, they're doing what they can do right now until they can make a move or a trade. And, the hitting, they have a lot of power hitters in that lineup. I mean, we discussed this in earlier shows. You got to get back to just putting the bat on the ball. I've heard Tony Gwynn say, even on off days, he never took a day off. He always hit off the tee because he knew if he lost that outside corner of the plate, his career was over. You just got to get back to hitting. At the end of the day, you can hit home runs, but you got to put the bat in the ball as well.
Yeah.
Sinking ship. But you just jump in the water and let Ben Simmons catch you. How about you, Brian?
I agree with Malcolm. I think he can play it, but he definitely doesn't need to be there. And the Yankees got enough bats. They just not hitting. So call up one of the younger players. Let them play center field. See what they can do. No loss to the Red Sox hurt, but you gotta see what these younger guys can do, because right now they need a spark. And until you get a trade or something, they got to do something.
And how about you, Emerson?
Well, let me just say this. I don't think Aaron Judge can be the great Mickey Rivers nor Bernie Williams out there in center field, because there was only one Mick the Quick Rivers and Bernie who played that center field like nobody else's business. I like him in right field, like Malcolm said. I think just for purpose of his limitations, keep him in right field where he has a cannon of an arm. We know that. Leave him in right field and leave him alone. I like Aaron Judge over there in that right corner.
I like Aaron Judge over in the right corner, but it also says this young man at 6'7" is a tremendous athlete.
Yes, he is.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
definitely.
To go and play center field, because not that many right fielders you can say, okay, go play center field. I mean, for that man at that size to still go out and play center field and say, and when the managers say, hey, I need you to go play center field, he's like, okay, I'll do it for the team. Most guys would be like, whoa. I'm not going to center field. I'm not going to go dive and get banged up. And I didn't get that long-term contract yet. And right field, yeah, he's got a lethal arm. But we all know that when you play center field, you're diving. Imagine a man at 6'7" when he hits the pay dirt. That's a lot of weight coming down. And that's a lot of pounding on a man that hasn't played a full, healthy season yet.
A lot of ground in that center field for the Yankee Stadium.
Yes, it is.
He broke his rib a year ago. 2 years ago, and they didn't diagnose it till a year ago that it was broken. And he had to sit out for like 2 months. That was crazy.
Yeah.
Diving for a ball.
I'm like, call up one of the players.
They got to make some moves. They got to make a move.
Well, one thing with Brian Cashman, he's very cheap at times that he doesn't want to start the clock. Because when you bring a player up, you start the clock.
Well, it's after. I'm sorry to cut you off, brother.
No, go ahead.
When it's after May, that clock goes to next year, so it doesn't start yet. It starts anytime before May 15th.
So he's very funny with that.
But let me say this: you have to use these players that you invested all this money in. These players from the farm system. Let's see what they can do. Why are we going to keep them down there when there's a player that's injured? Now is the time to bring that player up. Okay, maybe he wasn't ready at the beginning of the year when you broke camp, but now there's a need for him. Let's see who's the best player you have at your AAA level, and let's bring him up and give him a shot. Give him 25, 35, 40 at-bats. Let's see what he can do. Put him out there in the outfield, and let's see what we have. At least you know what you have going into next year. Can we bring this kid on the roster for next year? Let's start letting those players play. Bring them up from the minor leagues. I love minor league players.
But to play devil's advocate, you will sometimes have a report that will come to the general manager and say, this kid's not ready.
Mm-hmm.
Even though he may be a top prospect, your scouting department may say, he's not ready. And if you bring him up to face top pitching, the kid may wind up having a setback. So,
and I totally agree with you there. I mean, we don't want to bring up our young players and their confidence is shattered. But I have seen some young players on teams. I know some of my Los Angeles Dodgers players have been traded way too soon and have gone on to other teams and been able to play a major role for that team.
I understand. You're right, brother.
Yeah.
You're right, good brother.
It happens.
Yeah, it's hit or miss.
I'm glad you said that, Aaron. Robinson Cano, when they called him up, they said he wasn't ready.
Yep.
He went like over 22. One for 22, his first 22 up back, something like that. And they said he wasn't ready. And Robinson, but they let the kid play. They said, we didn't bring him up here for his bat. We brought him up here for his defense, and we want him. And they said he had no speed, which he doesn't. They said all he is a slap hitter, left and right field. He wound up being one of, had he stayed a Yankee,
oh my God,
he might have been a Hall of Famer. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah.
Had he been a Yankee, stayed a Yankee, but he went for the money, and Cashman said, hey, we're not going to give you that money because Seattle gave him, I agree, an outrageous contract, which it was. But you gotta bring these kids up. I'm sorry. You got to see what they can do.
And
I mean, give them 30, 40 at-bats. Okay?
Absolutely.
Let's see what they can do. You another team may see something, you don't see the value in them. It says, okay, we'll take that kid, that you sit down, but we'll give you this guy for him,
Yeah.
It is what it is. And like I said, I just don't nobody want to trade with Tampa Bay because they steal players. If Tampa Bay is interested in a player on your team, you better believe they see something you don't.
Yep.
So you say, we'll say no to that one. Because they robbed Pittsburgh.
And a few years ago, the reason why Aaron Judge is playing center field is because of Aaron Hicks. And when the Yankees made the trade to get Hicks went the year batting under 200.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And everybody was saying, why is this kid in the lineup? He couldn't hit to save his life.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's got a $70 million contract, looking good.
Yeah.
When he's healthy, he's a player.
Yeah.
When he's healthy, he's a good player. I ain't saying a great player. He's a good player. He's that compliment.
What was your words last week?
Always. The best ability is availability. And he's not available. He's gone for the year.
Yep.
He's gone for the year.
Guys, San Diego Padres, Fernando Tatis has 25 home runs before the All-Star break. Will he hit 50 or more home runs by the end of the season? I'm going to start off with Terry.
Kid's a talent, major talent. It's hard to say, but I think he's got a good shot to do it if he can stay healthy. Let's not forget that he was diagnosed with a partial shoulder tear, and he's playing through that. So he has a good shot to do it, but we'll see. But the kid is the talent. He's got the it factor. He's just good. I don't know what else to say about him. He's just that good.
Emerson?
I'm in total agreement with Terry on this one. What a player. What a player. 5-tool player. I mean, we can put all the accolades there for him. He's an amazing, as I term I like to use, must watch TV. When he's up, when they're playing, you want to watch it. Even when they're playing my Dodgers, I'm like, oh God. To answer to your question, Aaron, 50 home runs I think is going to be a little out of reach because teams are aware of his ability. I think they will start pitching to him differently going forward this year. I think pitching coaches will find a way to either work around him in the lineup or, just like I said, pitch to him differently, because you just don't want to give him that chance. You're just going to say, we're going to let someone else beat us. It won't be him.
And how about you, Malcolm?
50 home runs, not this year. He'll probably definitely get 45, 47 maybe. I mean, he'll definitely get 40 home runs if he stays healthy, of course. And like everyone says, it's no secret, the kid's an immense talent. He can ball. he just comes out and he shows it too. He's a showman. He's a showman out there. He swings that
Love
bat and plays. I mean, he throws a lot of throwing errors in the field, because he got 15 errors already. But the kids, he's such a great hitter, such a great ball player. I mean, incredible.
How about you, Brian?
I think he might hit that plateau. I think he may get 50. I think he's that talented. Not along with, I'm going to throw in there, I think Vlad Guerrero might get it as well.
Ooh, yes.
I think he may hit it. His batting average is still high. He's still in the 330s, close to 350, I believe, somewhere in there. So I think those two may do it. If the pitcher is Ohtani,
Ohtani.
If he
Let's not forget Ohtani.
if he gets 40, which is possible, all bets are off. So I think he will do
Ohtani.
The thing that I admire about this kid is he's the big smile. He's having fun. All natural ability, and it's just like, yeah, I'm doing this. I'm having fun with it. Smiling, laughing, and no pressure. Just go out there and play, kid. And that's what the managers don't play. Managers not telling him, hey, calm down. Get it serious here.
Let him play.
He's like, yeah.
Be you.
You want some chewing gum to go with it? Go out there and have some fun.
Yes.
So if this kid can just keep having fun and the bat doesn't tighten up, I can see him hitting 50 home runs. And when's the last time you've seen 50 home runs from a shortstop?
Remember, he has that shoulder.
Alex Rodriguez.
Yeah.
So I'm rooting for the kid to hit 50 home runs, and I know you guys are too. And so we'll be keeping our eye on him.
Right.
Doc Rivers reminds me of a country song. Stand by your man, Ben Simmons.
I want to call him Glenn. Hey, Glenn. That's all I want to call him. I don't even want to put the rest of the last name on it. Hey, Glenn.
Him of his doctor.
Yeah.
Now,
I'm stripping him of that. Glenn.
now, Doc Rivers said that he's going to stand by the kid, and they're going to work with him in the off season. So I'm going to start this one with Malcolm.
I don't think he has a choice. Be honest with you. He's going to try to work with him. Hopefully he gets somebody, because my man Chris Jackson, Akbu Ara, if I said his name right, he volunteered to help him. He said, look, I know you got a lot of people in your corner, everybody talking in your ear. He was one of the great shooters before,
Yes, he was.
and he was all mechanics, everything, form, everything. His shooting touch was everything. So he could work with you. I know he can improve you. If anything, the minute he offered, I'd have been like, when can you be here, or do I have to meet you? And what gym are we going to? And how much is the plane ticket? Because I'm gonna definitely have you come here. And what do you like to eat for dinner? Because my man, he would definitely improve your shot, improve your confidence, improve everything you got. Because he needs help. We already said that before. It's no secret. And Doc Rivers need help too, hands down. Because Doc Rivers' career depends upon him as far as him keeping a job. Because he shouldn't have had the job this year.
Brian.
I'm going to elaborate off some of what Malcolm was saying. This on both of them. Doc Rivers' coaching career could be assigned with what Ben Simmons is going to have to address. And what they're talking about addressing it sounds kind of major, where they're talking about switching from left hand to right hand, which is going to be something that's going to be hard to do. But he has to do it. He's going to have to try to do it. Because looking at these numbers that I have, this is just some of the numbers I have for the regular season. He shot 583 field goal attempts, 406 of those were 5 feet or less. 125 was from 5 to 9 feet. 37 was from 10 to 14. 37. This is a guard. And anything further than that was single digits for a season. So with Doc having to coach something he should have been addressing last season, having him shoot during the game, and if he didn't, he should have took him out and say, if you don't shoot, you're hurting the club, because he's a veteran coach. He knows in the playoffs your weakness is going to be exposed. And man, he got exposed for the world to see. So what they got to do is get in the kitchen and start cooking, but this ingredient might not be something you want to eat.
Yes.
I think you need a little more seasoning salt or something in there.
How about you, Terry?
Well, when I saw the press conference last week, and I saw when Doc Rivers got asked if Philadelphia can win a championship with Ben Simmons playing for this team, and Doc's response was he didn't know. And at first, I took that as like, he's definitely not standing by Ben Simmons right now. He's kind of throwing him under the bus. But I was able to kind of chew on it a little bit over the past week. And I think, you know what? I think that was his challenge to Ben Simmons, to step up your game. He's expected to be a major part of this franchise, winning a championship. And I think Doc Rivers is challenging him. And, you know, I would say Doc Rivers is partly to blame. Not so much for Ben Simmons, maybe just for coaching adjustments in their series with Atlanta. But I feel like that has to fall on Ben. Ben's got to get in the gym. Doc can't make Ben Simmons get in the gym and shoot jumpers. I mean, one of the greatest players ever played a game, one of the greatest guards, Kobe Bryant, let's not forget, he shot 3 or 4 air balls in a Western Conference Series game against the Utah Jazz.
Mm-hmm.
And he went in after that season and put in the work. I don't see why Ben Simmons, given his size, his talent, his speed, can't do the same.
Right. Exactly.
We're not asking you to be Steph Curry. We're just asking you to hit a 10 to 15 footer every now and then. So I feel like Doc Rivers actually is standing by him, because he issued a challenge last week during that press conference. Now let's see what Big Ben does.
AT, that was a knock on Jason Kidd when he came in the league too. He couldn't hit a jumper.
Exactly.
And he developed that jumper that, you know, he became one of the all-time best field goal percentage shooter from 3. It was incredible. I mean, like I said, it's called work on it. And I said it before, and we've talked about Ben Simmons before. It's what you have to do to get better, not what everybody else going to make you. It's what you got to do to get better.
Exactly. You know, and the game's different now, Malcolm. Just when you think about when Jason Kidd in early years, point guards, all they did basically was distribute the ball.
Yeah.
Nowadays, any position you play, you're expected to be able to pass, shoot, and dribble the ball.
Yeah.
And hit free throws.
Your centers are shooting threes now. So.
And you got to be able to make free throws. I don't care. Your point guard can't make free throws. He ain't no good to you.
Yeah.
Very true. And Emerson?
Listen, I think this problem look back a little bit further. From 7th grade on up, Ben Simmons has been a superstar on every level. No one has ever really challenged him because he was just better than everyone else, probably from AAU basketball through high school and as he got into college. But now you're in the NBA and you have run into other players with skills that are better than yours and that skills that you need to be able to step up and match. You need to be able to shoot here in the NBA. This is a league. We have stretch fours. We have centers that can shoot the 3. Ben, I'm telling you, brother, you have the talent to be a great player that this era have seen. You can defend. You can handle the ball. You have all the tools. But now let's add this to your game and let's make history, Ben, that in 2 or 3 years, I see you as one of the top players in this game, because I'm telling you, well, first of all, I hope you get traded to the Lakers. I'm hoping Rich Paul can work something out, get you
Keep
over
dreaming.
there with LeBron and AD, and let's make it happen. If Philly don't want you, Ben, come on to LA, bro. LA, listen, Hollywood, you'll love it. But anyway, I think this comes down to the coaching, the off-season work that's going to need to happen, that this man can become a better shooter. And something Brian said earlier, I've been hearing talk of them trying to have him shoot with his right hand. I don't know how that's going to work, or I don't know how that's going to be complete or complete him as a player. So we're going to have to wait and see. If you're talking about a left-handed player who's been shooting with his left hand all of his life, now he's going to be shooting with his right hand. That's going to be a wait and see thing that we're going to have to sit back and watch. So let's see how this works out. And Doc Rivers, this will be where some of your best coaching needs to come, or if you still have any coaching left in you, sir. Come on, Glenn.
I think Doc Rivers has no other choice but to stand by Ben Simmons.
Yeah.
But all Doc can say to him is text him, call him, and put out there, hey, are you working on your game? How's it coming? Because in the end, Ben has got to look in the mirror at himself and say, what am I going to do to improve my game? And it's just like what Terry said about Kobe. Kobe knew exactly how embarrassed he was, and he worked on his game. Now you're taking a look at Ben Simmons. You got embarrassed on national TV.
Absolutely.
That your game was bad. Now, what are you going to do about it? Because we all know during the regular season, defenses are a little loose. On playoff time, whatever your weakness is, the coaches go to attack it. So let's hope that Ben Simmons works on his game, because Doc Rivers is standing by his man. Kawhi Leonard, please go sit with your team on the bench and don't sit in the luxury suite. Terry, how do you feel about that?
I don't really understand it. I'm justifying it as this is something that there's some information that we don't have, just the general public. I don't know if this is ownership trying to appease Kawhi Leonard because they fear that he's going to walk when his contract is up, and they're trying to do everything in their power to make sure that he stays with the Clippers. But just as from I guess, being a player on the bench for the Clippers, it's something that I'd be puzzled by, because you would think you would want to see him on the bench. I know Brian and I talked earlier this week, just encouraging the younger players, being in the huddles, pointing out things that he sees out on the floor, giving advice, just there for, encouragement. You see your star player out there, on the bench cheering for you, that might get some of these guys, to score a couple extra points, just off of being amped up, and I don't know, it's surprising me. I don't understand it at all.
Interesting. How about you, Emerson?
I saw him up there sitting in the press box, and my first thought was there were too many steps to walk down to the floor because he has a bad knee. I'm just kidding.
I was crazy. What is he doing? They got elevators, bro. They got elevators in those stadiums.
We were about to freeze your screen this time.
That's a long walk. That's a long walk from the press box down to the floor, huh? You know, he's got to put pressure on that knee. I was thinking, okay. Then I said, well, maybe we can have some of the guys that work there at the arena carry him down to the, and then carry him back up if he wants to, But anyway, no. All seriousness, I think he just needs to be there. His face in the huddle, as Terry stated, his face in the huddle, his advice that he can give to players, his advice that he can speak to his fellow superstar player, Paul George, and say, hey, listen, man, they're doubling you, they're trapping you. Whatever the language is, to be able to give that input. You are the face of our franchise. When I see you, I see strength. When you're up there, you're away from me. So I say this to that, Kawhi, you need to be there on the bench with your team, being a support system. When someone's doing something wrong, I think you can pull them while there's a timeout or while he's on the bench. Now you can say, hey, listen, when you get back out there, watch the pick and roll, whatever the case may be, or watch the defense that they're trying to bring at you. Like Terry said, you need to be that star player, that superstar. And I know he's not a guy that really likes to talk a lot, but right now this is the conference finals. Listen, open your mouth, man, and speak, or forever hold your peace.
Yeah.
How about you, Brian?
It's not a good look for Kawhi to me. As a team player, this is something I has no explanation that I can kind of see that he can justify. It's not like he couldn't get down to the floor. It's not like he had a broken leg where he was in danger of getting injured if he sat on the sideline. And I'm not 100% sure, but he may be the only player. Is he the only player on that team that has got a ring? I don't know for sure because I have not checked that out. But if it is or if it isn't, he's one of the main players who has multiple rings and have been through the battles and know what it is to get there. So he should be on the floor encouraging them in any kind of way instead of sitting up. And M called it the press box, but he was in the luxury box.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
So,
I was going to correct him. I didn't want to say nothing. It was the luxury box.
Oh, yeah,
up
because
there
the
having
nachos are better in the luxury box.
Exactly. Nachos, whatever he may be drinking or whatever, while his team's down there battling. That doesn't look good. And I haven't heard any reports of anything or teammates disgruntled about it, but that may come out later. And Kawhi may have other plans. So we'll see how it all plays out.
Mm-hmm. And how about you, Malcolm?
Same thing that Brother B said, man. Doesn't look good. Because, one, it seems like you're pulling yourself from your team and you're separating yourself, as a superstar, which he is. He's a star on the team. He's a baller. He got the rings, and he's proved it. And he's done it in big time basketball. But you got to be down at least cheering your team on, saying, look, like my man said, yo, if he's doing you on this side, play him to this side. He's a great defender, perimeter defender. He could put something in their ear, what he see on the floor that they don't see, that coaches don't see. Like you said, all the help you can get is the best. Like you said, yo, listen, we got this. If they're doing this, push them this way, or we got this. Yo, head fake them, jab them and go right, go left, keep finishing them. Like you said, just because you're on the bench and they see you there, that means it's you're part of the team. I understand he got his family and whatever situation he got with the owner, to get a luxury bar, blah blah blah. This ain't a regular season game.
Right.
This is conference finals. Okay. Now you got to be out there. Like I said, it ain't like he needs a wheelchair brace or something. Okay, wheel him out there in a wheelchair. Then let him sit there. You know what I mean? If he doesn't have to stand up all day. But like I said, if he's getting treatment on that knee, then he should be down there on that bench, especially when you're home. I'm sorry.
They can always put like a recliner down there for him if he's got, just to make.
They ain't doing that. They ain't doing that.
Well,
They ain't doing that. They can bring those nachos down there though. He can eat those out there.
the only thing I see is this: being a star like Kawhi. You're a star, and you see something in the game that I might be doing something wrong, or one of the players might be doing something wrong, that the coaches don't see it, but you see it. How can you tell anybody from up in the luxury box where that if you're down on the court, you can say, hey, come here. Even if you don't get up, this is what I'm seeing. Or coach, this is what I'm seeing. You can't do that from the luxury box. So you're not a part of the team. You're distancing yourself from the team, and that's wrong. So I kind of lose respect for him that way. Now, if I'm the owner, I have to be saying, okay, I put this in your contract, but hey, wait a minute. This is the playoffs. If you want to use this sometimes during the regular season, I understand that. But man, come on, get down there with your team. Show me that you're not going to do something like this during the playoffs, that you want to hang out in the luxury box and ask for a steak. Come on, no, no.
Well, he can buy his own steak. He getting paid.
Yeah.
But you're right. You're absolutely right.
Maybe Uncle Dennis was sitting up there with him.
I'm sure he was
I don't know.
But we're gonna move along. We're gonna move
Dennis.
along from Kawhi. Will the Phoenix Sun shine over the Los Angeles Clippers? Brian.
They will. Eventually, I think they will. The Clippers, I'm going to give them a lot of credit. They could have folded up 10. They played great in all the games. They were right there in it, and they should have won game 4? Should have won that one, and they blew it. But Phoenix, I think this may just be their year. Don't know the score right now, but I know the game is ongoing. Ball is at the cusp of going to NBA Finals for the first time in his career. Booker is turning into, well, he is a star, but he's turning into a superstar right in front of everybody's eyes. They just grown from the bubble. They just carry that over to the next season. So I think they will, definitely, and I can see them winning it all.
And how about you, Malcolm?
Let me say this first. The NBA champion will come out of the West. But I'm going to tell you now, as much as I'm pulling for the Clippers, it does look like the Suns are going to put them away. It may not be this game, hopefully next game or whatever, but it looks like they're going to put them away. I wish, like I said, we just talked about Kawhi. I wish Kawhi was playing because he's a factor, hands down. He's an X factor. And like brother Brian said, you got to give them their credit. They playing great ball without him, and they only can do what they can do. They're man down. They're man down, and a big one at that. A big scorer, big defender, and he's a clutch player. He's truly a clutch shooter and a clutch player. And I gotta give I'm gonna say this right now. I gotta give credit to Paul George because although he missed the free throws, he should have hit the free throws in game 2. He's been playing his butt off, man, and he's doing what he can do. He's learning how to win. He's learning how to close. I mean, true, I wish Kawhi was there with him, but he's still learning how to close. And this is what it's all about. And they just don't have enough ammunition for Phoenix. Phoenix will pull this off, unfortunately.
How about you, Terry?
I think Phoenix will end up closing this series or winning the series. And I just think it's for a few reasons. I mean, Kawhi's out, but game 4, DeAndre Ayton is the X factor right now.
Yes.
The Clippers cannot get anything, they can't score anything near the basket because of him. Zubac cannot bring DeAndre Ayton out of the paint. And that's really what's, in my opinion, preventing Paul George from scoring more points than what he's scoring now. Because as soon as he gets to the rack, Ayton's there to block him. anybody else that's trying to score near the rim, they just can't do it. Zubats, you can't even pick and pop with Zubats because Ayton's not going to respect them. And I truly think that Chris Paul, LeBron, you got to give him all his credit. But if you just want to if you had to put down a resume in front of me and look at accomplishments on the job, Chris Paul could probably be your MVP over the past 3 years. Every team he goes to, they get better.
Yeah.
And it's not only the team. I don't know what Chris Paul has, but Cameron Payne took a major leap this year and is not the same player he was last year. I honestly think Chris Paul, when it's all said and done, if he decides to retire and become a coach, he might be a heck of a coach. So he's got the magic touch, Midas touch, whatever you want to call it. Every team he goes to, it turns to gold. So.
And how about you, Emerson?
Before I get to Chris Paul, and Terry, you were very well put together on the Chris Paul resume. I applaud you there, my friend. Rebounds means rings. I heard Pat Riley say that. And DeAndre, 22 rebounds the other night. I think he was one short of Charles Barkley's record, I believe, of 23 rebounds in conference final. Listen, he has been a factor there. And I know we have seen the game change a bit from the big man being a stretch four or whatever you want to call that. But I still think you need that rim protector right there, somebody that can clog the middle up, as we would say years ago. Someone who we talked about on one of our podcasts earlier this year, Mark Eaton, how he would clog the middle, be a force there in the middle. And there was always something about the big man being a force in the middle. He has earned his stripes in this playoffs. DeAndre, kudos to you. Chris Paul, my man, Chris Paul, CP. Listen, he has done it everywhere, as Terry stated, everywhere he's been. We know all the teams he's played for, but he puts his mark and he puts his stamp down. Phoenix will close this series out. Like Malcolm said, I believe they're going to bring it home and bring the championship to Phoenix, to Arizona, to the sunny city of Phoenix out there, because Chris Paul is going to be the factor, and that championship is coming to the West.
Mm-hmm. And final question, guys. Are the lights too bright for the Atlanta Hawks? Terry?
Yes. I would say this, going into the playoffs, their attitude was they had nothing to lose. And I like that. I like this Atlanta Hawks team. They remind me of a kind of mini or junior Golden State Warriors team. They're young, they shoot, they have a lot of firepower, but I think just coming into this year's playoffs, they had nothing to lose and they played like it. But I knew they were going to be a problem after I saw them beat the Knicks in the first game. I said, this team is just very talented all around, all positions. But I think they're facing a team like Milwaukee, they're kind of coming down to earth right now, especially over these past 2 games. I think Milwaukee has kind of put them back into reality, and now they're kind of feeling the pressure of trying to win some playoff games now. And we'll see how this Trae Young injury plays out, but that could be the factor that kind of shuts their dreams down this year. But they're going to be a problem for years to come. If they can keep all their players intact, they're a problem. But not just for the Eastern Conference, but for the whole league.
And how about you, Emerson?
Frozen.
Malcolm.
Yes. Let me say this. Right now, this isn't their time. They overachieved. hands down. I mean, they play great basketball in this tournament. I mean, they've been doing a great job in this NBA. That man, Trae Young, he's a problem. He's a problem in the future. I mean, he can score from anywhere, and he's giving out great assists with that, pick and roll. He also is, just doing his thing, hitting that jump shot from the outside. He's knocking it down. Right now, they're getting great coaching. Got to give Nate McMillan his flowers, man.
Yeah.
Ty Lue, and of course, Monty from Phoenix. Give them their flowers. They're doing a great job in coaching and doing what they do. But Nate McMillan, he definitely did a great job at turning that team around. Like I said, he was picked up after the coach was fired, so he's an active coach right now. But yes, right now I think they're going to hit their brick wall when it comes to Milwaukee. This is it for them. They ain't getting further past this point.
And how about you, Brian?
The lights are shining on them, and they're shining on them in a good way. They definitely achieve above expectations. I actually think the team is talented enough to beat Atlanta, but they're just not ready. They're too young. They don't have the experience. But you can see they can give Milwaukee a hard time when they are clicking, and they're just young. So they're going to be a problem down the road and for the future. As T said, they're somewhat like a mini Golden State because they got shooters everywhere. So they definitely did good.
And how about you, Emerson? Well, what I have to say is kudos to the Atlanta Hawks. Their light is shining bright. They made it to the NBA Finals. So that was, I didn't see them playing for in the finals to go to the NBA championship. But their future is bright. So let's hope that they can make it. And how about you, Emerson?
Hey, listen, I think the lights are a little too bright for Atlanta, but they're going to be a team to be reckoned with down the stretch and for years to come. Nate McMillan, he has done a great job with that team. I just think Milwaukee's going to make sure that they don't let the ball, fall this time. And Giannis is a competitor. I think his competitive nature will come out and rub off on the rest of the team. You see how Chris Middleton is playing right now. And I think they're going to prevail, and they're going to go against the Phoenix Suns in the NBA Finals. I see that happening. A great season for the Atlanta Hawks. I mean, I'm sorry.
Yes.
That it had to end this way.
Yes.
Yeah, but they had a good, they're making a good run. And it's not over until it's over.
Yeah, that's what they say.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens. Guys, this I think we had a good show, but right now there are families that have lost loved ones, and this is a sad day.
Yes.
Because families are going to go through this for quite a while. And from Exo Sports Talk, our hearts truly go out to the families down at Surfside.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Amen.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
we hope that there are survivors that come out of this tragedy.
Absolutely.
So your loved ones, you love them
Yes.
Yeah.
Never take it for granted.
every day.
Emerson.
All right. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, please join us again on our next episode. Thank you for tuning in to Exo Sports Talk Live. We will have some of the best sports news next week. We're coming back at you. Till then, we'll see you soon. Thank you for tuning in.
Absolutely.
Good night, everybody.
Going fishing.
See you next week, everyone.
Good night, everybody.